Hello everyone and welcome to F1 2021, the official video game, and welcome to not quite season 2. We are almost at season 2. We just have a few things we need a few loose ends we need to tie up, and just some things we need to prepare before we actually officially get into season 2. But we have finished all of the races. We got all the way up to round, whatever it was, 23, I think it was, 23 races for first season. So we are just finishing off the last little bits. Contract renewal time. We're not going to be renegotiating Schwartzman's contract. He is now going back to the free agent pool. I did, however, after the last video, I did upgrade to the deluxe edition of the game, so we have unlocked some legendary races, some of which we can afford all of them except for Michael Schumacher. He is probably going to be the end game for us. He's going to be the guy that we want to have as our basically the person we're aiming for to have in our team. For now though, we're looking between Jenson Button and Nico Rosberg. So we end up picking Rosberg. I wanted Jenson Button. His stats are slightly better. However, he does need for us to have Spec 2 chassis department. We only have Spec 1 departments, and out of all the departments we have, chassis is the one that's probably furthest away from being Spec 2. So, but I mean, not to say that Rosberg is not a great driver, former F1 Drivers Champion, 2016 I do believe. The year where him and Hamilton hated each other pretty much. So we've decided we're going to go with Rosberg. He's got some pretty mad stats, so we're going to approach him with a contract. We're going to go low risk. We don't want to try anything here. We just need to get him out of the team, and it's only an extra 400k in terms of the money that we've got. That's not much. So we've put forward that offer, and he's accepted it. So Nico Rosberg is now joining Cross GT Racing for the first half of Season 2, 11 race weekends. We will have him in our team, which will only boost our position, hopefully even more. Next season it's only 16 races. I felt 23 was too many. So we've gone for a shortened season. Bahrain, Imola, Portugal, Spain, Azerbaijan, Canada, France, Austria, Britain, Belgian Grand Prix at Spa as well, the Monza in Italy, Sochi in Russia, USA, Brazil, Australia, and Abu Dhabi. I've taken out a bunch of the tracks that I have been having trouble with. Not only did I have trouble with them last season, but I've been trying to get better at them and I just haven't been able to. So I've taken them out, plus I feel we can get more seasons in before the next game comes out if we shorten it. We've changed our main sponsor. Finished 10th or better in the Constructors' Championship with RGB. We can do that. We did that last season. We've gone with Nico Rosberg obviously as our driver, and we have picked the Mercedes engine for this season. We've gone away from Renault. The other engine manufacturers, all the durability was 100 across the board, but the others only had 80 performance. Mercedes has 90. We can afford to have them without it affecting the money we've got in the bank. So we're going to try that for the season and see if we can get anything more out of that. So here we are at the beginning of season 2. We have $16.5 million sitting there. We can do so much with that money. So we are basically just going to go on a massive spending spree right now. Doesn't matter what order we do it in, we're going to get everything in Spec 1 for all of our departments. We're going to have max for powertrain, chassis, aerodynamics is already maxed out. We're going to actually put some money into the personnel department. Upgrade that. Now that we've got Nico, that should only help us even more. Durability department, the last bit in there. Marketing costs a lot, so we're gonna just do the activities management bit. I don't think I did the other bit. I'm pretty sure I didn't. Now chassis we need to get to Spec 2. One, because it's lacking, so we want to get a good jump on all of those upgrades at the beginning of the season. And also, if we want to look at having Jensen Button later in the season, if we decide we don't want to have Rosberg in the team anymore, we do also need to be chassis spec 2, just for that as well. Okay, so we only have $1.7 million now, so we can't even afford sponsor relations for marketing, so we skip marketing for now. Into R&D. So all of the parts that we saved last season have all come through. The regulation changes haven't affected us. We adjusted all the parts last season, yet chassis is still, like, we're still so far behind. Like, even just to Williams that's a decent gap to Williams in chassis. Our chassis is lacking a lot. We need to really start focusing on that. We've got 1,500 resource points. So we're going to focus on a major weight redistribution upgrade, which would actually get us ahead of Williams. So we'd be off the bottom of the ladder there. We're now team claim level 15, so we're going to pick Loop as our third sponsor. All we're going to do is drive 10 laps in practice. Should be easy. It's easy money. That's why we picked it. Activity timeline. Driver training camp. Get Rosberg's stats up nice and early. We also get some extra resource points from that, so that will help. And then after that, power and durability focus or aero and chassis focus. You sort of get the same up and down from those. Pre-season advertising campaign to get the team acclaim level up even more. It's going to take us to another 10 levels to get to the last available contract slot, so no rush to get there.
We can now approach an additional sponsor from the corporate tab.
We have already done that, mate. We're well ahead of you, but thanks for letting us know. Chassis department now has an issue we've got to take a look at. Yep. So they've finished ahead of schedule on something, so do we want extra R&D or do we want to schedule in some promo content for the team? Resource points are always good.
The department wants me to pass on their thanks for helping out.
No worries, an extra 562 resource points. We're back up to 1,300. It's like we've never even spent anything.
Morning.
Right.
It looks like a department has just completed a facility upgrade. Details have been sent to your inbox.
I think every department completed their facility upgrades. And we're now making almost $1 million a week. Now it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to reveal the new car we'll be running for Season 2 here at Cross GT Racing. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the brand new Cross GT Racing car for Season 2. Still keeping with the same colour scheme, the purple and silver, but we've got more of the silver in there because we want this thing to be an absolute bullet on the track. We've now got $2.5 million sitting in the bank. We're now going to upgrade marketing, the activities management part to Spec 1. We've done so much already. We've spent so much money and done so many upgrades.
I've been informed that the department has just completed another facility upgrade.
Way to go, team.
With the details.
Alright, another facility upgrade. Personnel department now has an issue that we need to resolve. So let's head over there and take a look.
Personnel department has requested your input on this one.
Alright, so simulation drivers had a medical issue. They want Rosberg to temporarily step in. If we accept, this focus goes down, but we get a bunch of resource points. If we decline, then we get nothing, but we lose nothing. Resource points are always good, and I think Nico can afford to lose some focus.
Thanks for handling that.
I mean, he's a former F1 drivers champion. I'm pretty sure a drop in focus probably not that big of a deal for him. I'm not too worried about that. Plus, we can boost it back up anyway now that we've upgraded that personnel department. So we should be pretty sweet in that respect. Now that the chassis department has been upgraded, now we've got Spec 2 fabrication, we can actually put in some more upgrades and start researching more stuff, because we kind of want to blast through as much of these as possible, because chassis was lacking a lot last season, well, the second half of the season mainly, and I feel like that was a big reason why we had so many issues trying to keep up. We can rush this one if we want, but whether we rush it or not, it's still going to come through before round 2, before we go to what's that, Imola. So we're just going to go with the normal time frame. Again, same thing with the rims. We can either rush it or we can just go normal. So we'll go normal. We just want to make sure they get on before the round 2. That there will push us like halfway up the performance comparison if we get all those on. Alright, so we start heading towards round 1 of season 2, the Bahrain Grand Prix. Let's see how things are going to go this season, if there's been any changes. There's already been a change in our team. Practice 3, Rosberg, just loading us up with resource points, and also some boosts in there too. So already well ahead of where we started last season. And of course last season we were using free agents and Guan Yu Zhou and Robert Schwartzman. It will be interesting to see if there's been any driver changes to the teams, if anyone's moved around. I haven't actually looked yet, so we will probably find out when we take a look at the driver grid at the lineup. I can't say I really noticed anything during practice or even now during qualifying. I have changed the format though for race weekend for this season, so not only are we running a shorter season with only 16 races instead of 23, I've increased the duration. So practices are now 60 minutes long instead of 30 minutes, so full practices. We're now doing 50% race duration, so extra laps. I've also gone for short practice now, so not short qualifying, so not one shot qualifying anymore. It's not just one and done. It is a short qualifying session, half an hour session, as many laps as we can do. No Q1, 2 or 3. It's simply half an hour. Whatever lap you can get is your best lap. So we put on a pretty decent lap before, a 1:30.3, which at the time that we were at that split that came out before was pretty good. At the moment it's not. We had to just pause there momentarily. I can't remember what that was for. But basically we finish off qualifying, Nico 13th. Qualifying in 13th, in the car that was struggling to get out of the back at the end of last season. And I managed to get qualifying 16th. So the other cars are still quite a way in front of us, but we're definitely heading in the right direction. And now that qualifying is completed, it's time for us to head into the very first race day of season 2.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. There's no shortage of passing opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit, with the best at turn 1 of course, and then another soon into turn 4. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, and we could see 1 or 2 flat spots into the tight left-hander of turn 10. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice, and they've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Lando Norris and Ricciardo, Leclerc, Sainz, Stroll and Pierre Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Nico Rosberg and Schwartzman, Mick Schumacher, the captain, Esteban Ocon and Nicholas Latifi, Tsunoda, Giovinazzi, Joe and Nikita Mazepin. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So there's the starting lineup for the first race of the season. We're going to be running a one stop in this race. Just going for we're going to go hards first. No, we're going to go mediums or hards. I can't remember which one it was. Then we went hards onto mediums. No driver changes between teams this season. However, Robert Schwartzman is now racing for Aston Martin as we got 5 red lights and now we're off for the start of this race. Schwartzman now racing for Aston Martin. Guan Yu Zhou, just like in real life, is now racing for Alfa Romeo. So our former teammates, as we do a massive dive bomb. What a huge dive bomb there at turn 1. As our other teammates are now getting pushed around by Sainz in the Ferrari. We managed to pull that off. What a move. Let's take a quick look at that. We jump halfway up the grid. We were back in 16th. We locked wheels there with Sainz. We managed to hold on. We're now in 7th. We're now in 7th through 3 corners. As I was saying before, after that massive jump up the front, as Sainz now takes the position back, Guan Yu Zhou is racing for Alfa Romeo, who he's actually going to be racing for them this in the next season, for season 22, in real life. So our 2 teammates both now have seats in other teams, which is great for them. But other than that, no changes to the lineup of any of the teams. No one's moving, no one else retired other than Kimi Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel. We are now sitting 9th position on hards. Everyone else is on softs. We're doing a one stop from hards to mediums. We've just been passed by Russell. Whoa, we didn't get called out for a corner cutting there. That was tight. It was pretty tight there. Oh, as we try to make a big dive bomb on Russell. And we get around there pretty well. We get that position. We're now P9. Stroll now gets ahead of him too. As we come around the final corner there, down the back straight. And that is lap 1 completed. So that was a really good first lap from us. We managed to jump from 16th all the way up into 9th on hards. Now what we got to do is try and hold on to this for as long as we can. And then hopefully, when we jump onto the mediums, some of these other people will be on mediums, and maybe even some of them will go on hards as well. And we might be able to get the advantage on them there, as Stroll just takes advantage of a big mistake by us there at turn 4 and gets ahead of us. I'm not used to racing on hards. I don't often do it. It's usually softs and mediums because I've only been doing shorter races. So we're still getting used to these tyres. They don't have a whole lot of speed, but at the same time there's also not a whole lot of grip. So we're having to brake earlier, brake harder, turn in sooner and take some of these corners a little bit slower than we normally would. But we are going to have to just get used to that and really start to push this car. Alonso, who was 2 positions behind us, is actually on mediums as well. Well, not as well, but he's on mediums. So he may be looking at mediums to hards on a 1 stop, or maybe even doing a 2 stop and using some softs at some point later on in the race. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll keep our eyes on him. As Schwartzman now gets ahead of him.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Okay, so 1:36 that lap for us. That is now our benchmark lap as we lose the back end a little bit there at turn 1. We managed to hold on to it. 1:36.5. Lewis Hamilton with the fastest lap of the race so far, putting up a 1:31. But we will just focus on our race and just try and maintain the position. So no change still, we're still P10. Sonoda is now coming up behind us, heading up to turn 4. We try to undercut him, but we spin. Oh, we've gone into a spin. We need to get back onto the track. We have dropped all the way back now to P17 from P10. We just lost 9th position to Sonoda, but we just went too hard on the throttle at 4 and spun the car, and now we've dropped back to P17. That's not good for us. Rosberg is ahead of us now, he's on mediums. Zhou and Mazepin behind us are also on mediums, so they may be looking at a one-stop race going on to hards later. So if we can keep with these guys and get onto the mediums, we should have, if they're doing a one-stop, we should have the advantage when it comes to tyre compound. It already seems like we do have a bit of an advantage. We're on hards and we just have some better power with this new Mercedes engine than some of these guys on softs as we try to make a move on Latifi. We get it done, just. He's still there on the outside, but we've got the inside line. So that's an easy move to pull off there. P16 now. 6 laps completed of the 29 laps we'll be doing today. But yeah, we're finding... Okay, looks like there's an issue somewhere. So we come right up behind Rosberg now. With this new Mercedes engine, we have got so much more power than we had last season. So even on hards, there's Robert Schwartzman now parked off the track. He's now out of the race. His very first race for Aston Martin, and he's had to retire on the 9th lap.
Got that confirmed.
There's Latifi now, as I was spending too much time checking the change in strategy. Latifi just breezes past us and reclaims that position. We're in 16th. Latifi now 15th. But I mean, look at this. We are actually maintaining that gap. We're actually closing that gap on Latifi. He's on softs. We're on hards. He should have a clear advantage with the tyre compound. But the Mercedes engine we've got, I think, has put us up to like 2nd in the vehicle comparison for powertrain. So that's great for us as we get past Gasly now, and I think one other person who was in the pits. I didn't see who it was, but that's now P14 for us. Gasly now onto the hards, so he is probably looking at going the rest of the race on the hards. So we will see how that goes. There's Sonoda now on the pits, and it looks like another person as well. Again, I missed it. P12 now. Still maintaining the pace that we've had. We're still keeping up with the drivers in front of us. Latifi, Rosberg, and there's 2 others. Who are the other 2 up there? Ocon and Mick Schumacher as well. So we're maintaining pace to them, but I think it's because Ocon and Schumacher keep fighting with each other, holding each other up, which is only making it easier for us. As we make a dive bomb now, can we get Rosberg? No, we can't get Rosberg at 7. Or 8, I should say.
Great pass.
So we got past Latifi and he just got right back. That's the power of those soft compound tyres. Being able to accelerate out of those corners so much faster than us on slightly worn hards. Here comes Gasly. Hard compound on hard compound. I mean, his are fresh. Ours are a little gotten on a little bit. But he's in sort of a much better AlphaTauri, I say, as we make a move on him at 13. And I think we get it done. We get it done. We jump ahead. We're now P12 again. Alonso now makes a move on Gasly as well, on old mediums. There's that experience from the former world champion. There's Latifi now heading into the pits. P11 for us now. Quite a few drivers now will have had their first pit stop done and dusted. We're going to stay out as long as we can. Ocon and Schumacher still squabbling up there, still trading position. That's holding up Rosberg, which isn't good for my team. But in terms of my personal performance, that's good for me because it means I get in the top 10. As we're slower through sector 1 this time. We're going to try and make a move on Rosberg around the outside of turn 8. And we managed to... we're still side by side. And we let him go. We're not good here at turn 10. So we don't want to try and keep that position there and hold him up. So we let him go. And now we've got Gasly again trying to make another move. We let him go. We try to take the inside line. It doesn't work. He maintains that position. We go a little bit wide heading into the corner at 12. Uncharacteristic from us. We go a little bit wide there at 13. Now we've got a ton of speed on Gasly. Tiny bit of room on the side here. We try to go around the outside. He goes defensively inside. And he manages to keep us out. But we have DRS on him now. 1.3 seconds slower than our fastest lap that time round. Gasly goes defensive again heading into turn 1. Oh, a little bit of a slide there. We managed to hold on to it though, but it has cost us some time and some track position. As now Gasly's pulling away from us. We are still P12 though, which is pretty good for us considering where the car was at the end of last season, and the fact that we're also on hard compound tyres. So we're definitely not running as fast as we could be. As Schumacher, Rosberg and Ocon,
He's in the pit lane now.
Yep, all three of them head into the pit, so that now puts us in the top 10. We're now P9. Lap 15, we've completed 14 out of the 29 laps, so we're coming up to halfway through this race. And we're in the top 10 on a one stop with medium compound tyres to go. We come into the pits now lap 16. Ricardo's already in the pits. That's been a pretty good run so far. I'm pretty happy with that run. But we're going to have to see what we can do on these mediums. As I'm assuming a lot of the drivers are on hards now. A 1.9 second pit stop. That's exactly what we needed from the team. The best pit stop that we could have done.
Speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Let's absolutely do that, Jeff, as we head on up to turn 1. We are now P17 on some medium tyres, fresh medium compound tyres. And that group of cars in front of us, Alonso, Schumacher and whoever else is up there, I think are all on hards. On a one stop. Started on the mediums. And we managed to keep up with them on the hards. If we can keep up with them on hards, on a harder compound, imagine what we can do on a softer compound. Look at the speed. We just do a dive bomb on Schumacher at 8 like it's nothing. A little bit of a slide. He's still there. He's gunning it now. ERS probably enabled. We're going to let him go. We're going to give him the room. Let him have his space. Claim the DRS. He's got DRS on Alonso. He's going to pull us along. We're going to try a dive bomb here. And we managed to get it done. Dive bomb at 11. We go pretty tight there at 12. Coming up to 13 now. We're gaining Alonso. We get a good exit there. ERS enabled. And we're closing that gap. We're going right up behind Alonso. He's going to try and push us out to the outside. We'll take it. We get the job done anyway. P15. We've just claimed 2 positions in this first lap out of the pits on medium compound tyres. Take a look there. We go right up the outside. He goes defensive and we just managed to keep a good racing line heading right through.
Nice work. That brings you up a place.
Cheers, Jeff. That's what we needed. Now, we've done our out lap of the pits. Let's see what we can do This is our first full speed lap on mediums. Latifi, oh, Latifi gets in the way. We go off the track to get around him. It was the only thing that we could do to stop a crash there. Latifi and Alonso both go up around us. We slow right down and we undercut them at the corner and we just get straight back past them. Almost like we planned to do that. Just made it look so easy. Rosberg now right in front of us. We've got so much speed on him. He's on mediums. He's doing pretty well. I mean, he's on hard, sorry. He's doing pretty well on hards. That's that experience coming through. But we've got mediums. We're going to have this speed. We get DRS. Heading down to turn 11. We're gaining on him so quickly. We break a bit late. We go wide. But we can fix that through this section here. Ease off a little bit. We're still gaining on him though, even by coasting through there. We go pretty tight there through 13. Now it's just a straight run. ERS enabled. He's trying to push us out. We managed to get, well, we're side by side now. We've got the inside line. We get the job done. P13 now. 18 laps down.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.8 seconds.
So new personal best for us this race. But only by 0.2 seconds. We can do better than that. Now we've managed to close the gap to Ocon. This is now lap 20, so we've managed to close the gap to Ocon. Now we're only 0.6 seconds behind him. That gap's closing relatively quickly. We have to coast there. We would have gone too wide. Brake late there, we go wide. ERS enabled. Can we get him before turn 14 like we have on, well, like 3 other cars so far this race? No, we can't, but we do. It doesn't look like we have a better run out of 14 and 15 there. DRS and ERS enabled.
Managing your tyres. Manage your tyres.
Just straight past them. Too easy. Giovinazzi's next. P11 up for grabs. He's only 0.3 seconds ahead of us. We get DRS. He's got no one in front of him because Sonoda's 4.5 seconds ahead of him. So we've got the advantage there. Now we just need to get the job done. Faster through sector 1. Taking these corners reasonably well. We try to go around the outside of Giovinazzi. We just can't get it done. Try and cut back onto the inside. And we get the job done. That was so much easier than I thought it was going to be. Oh, late braking. We don't take that corner very well. Giovinazzi's got to run up the inside. Is he going to get it done? He does. He's got DRS on us, so it was always going to be easy. We cut back. Can't get him on the inside. But we're going to try and stick to the inside here. Heading into the outside of 12. We managed to make the move stick.
Green flag.
Green flag now after there was an issue somewhere. We'll take another look at this battle with Giovinazzi. It goes all the way back to turn 8. Well, we managed to cut back around on the inside. He concedes the spot, doesn't fight, gives it up to us. We mess up at 10, which opens the door for him. He's got DRS at this point right here. He's got DRS, activates it. He breezes past us and cuts back in front. We try to go through the inside there, but we don't have enough space. We have plenty of space, we just weren't close enough. But we have the power here through turn 12, and we just go around the outside of him. It's just all power, it's all speed. Managed to get the job done. Coming around the final 2 turns, 14 and 15, down to cross the start finish line and complete lap 21. We now have 8 laps to go.
Teammate behind is 3.6 seconds.
Okay, so we're 3 seconds ahead of our teammate Rosberg. We're P11. We have medium compound tyres. We get a little bit of a slide there. Giovinazzi now coming up behind us. Yellow flag. Collision with Giovinazzi. So obviously he's trying to come up alongside us there and we've clipped him. It didn't seem like I had. But if we're getting a warning for it, I must have. which would explain how he couldn't get that pass done. I thought he had me, but obviously that collision stopped that. As we had a green flag there, was a yellow through that section for some reason. It looks like maybe one of the Williams cars is going slow through there. Oh yep, it's Nicholas Latifi. He's out with some sort of issue. So I think that's now 2 retirements from this race. He was almost there, lap 26. He only had 3 and a bit laps left to go. Out of the first race of the season.
The car in front is 5.2 seconds.
Okay, so we've got 5 seconds to try and gain on Sonoda. I don't know if we'll be able to do it. We've only got 3 laps left in this race to do it. By the time we made it to turn 10, he's 5.5 seconds ahead of us now, so probably won't catch him. But we can still maintain what we've got. P11 through 26.5 laps is a really good. It's a really good performance by us. We've gone sideways and managed to save it somehow. But turn 12, we just went too tight somehow. That was an illegal overtake on Rosberg.
That was an illegal overtake.
I'm not sure how that works. Russell now takes advantage of that. We've now dropped all the way back to P16. We only had 2 and a bit laps left. We were on P11, and one mistake has taken that away from us. As we take another look here, we go around 11 and we go through round 12, and we just lose traction with the track enough to send us into a slide. We did a good job to save it. We almost took out Rosberg there when we came back onto the track. I don't know how that was an illegal overtake, but the stewards deemed that to be an illegal overtake. I thought I was on the track. We concede the position back. Russell takes advantage, but we get that one back too. As we now come on to the final lap.
Final lap of the race.
Final lap of the race. P15. Rosberg half a second in front of us. Ocon is now 2.3 seconds ahead of him. We could have finished P11, but one mistake.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
That one mistake cost us that position. I think at this point, unless someone else has some sort of catastrophic accident that holds up the rest of the pack, I think P14 is probably our best finishing position we can hope for, as Lewis Hamilton crosses the line to win the first race of the season and begin his campaign toward his 9th championship after winning his 8th last season by 1 point over his teammate. We go wide, coming out of 9 and through 10. Russell back in front of us again. We've now given up 1.5 seconds to Rosberg. Can we get Russell before the end of the lap? Can we at least salvage that? Can we at least rectify the mistake that we made? This is the strongest part of the race for us, this section. We've closed the gap to a second on Russell. We go very wide out of 13. It's a straight run all the way down to 14. Around 14 we go wide. We're not going to get the job done. We finish the race, P16.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Sure thing, Jeff. So P16 for the first race of the season. Through 29 laps, Yuki Tsunoda getting driver of the day. And I think we raced pretty well.
A fantastic team effort then to secure victory here in the desert. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So there we have it, Bahrain Grand Prix completed, round 1 finished, P16 for us, so we finished the same position we started. Nico Rosberg drops back from 13th to 14th, but still a 14th and a 16th for us. I'd say it's a pretty good start to the season. Schwartzman and Latifi both with a DNF after issues with their cars. Lewis Hamilton takes the win, he takes the full 26 points for having the fastest lap, and Bottas finishing second. Now, in trying to chase him down to try and claim back the title, he feels he probably should have won last season. Mercedes taking away maximum points from this first round on course to seeing if they can get yet another consecutive Constructors' Championship. We are in 8th where we finished last season. Hopefully we can improve on that through the rest of the season. Well, that brings this race weekend to its conclusion. Pretty good performance there. I mean, we started on hards and went to mediums. I think we did pretty well. We were in P11 and we probably would have finished P11 had we not spun out at turn 12 like we did. Just one little mistake. And it dropped us back, what, 5 positions? So we could have finished P11 first race of the season. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's been a little longer video this time around, mainly because of all the stuff we had to go over at the start, heading into season 2, all of our prep. But yeah, I think we're showing some promise for the rest of the season. If you enjoyed that and you do enjoy the rest of the series, leave a like. Also comment below, just comment whatever you want. The algorithm loves it when you interact with the videos, likes, comments, share it as well, get as many people out there to watch it as well, maybe they'll enjoy it too. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe, the algorithm loves that too. And I'll catch you all in the next one.